Hey guys, this is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors, and we have with us Absolute Tabletop's very first print-on-demand book. Matt Click from A Fistful of Dice's Erenoth, The Convocation. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what
that's not a mouthful.
But it is the Convocation, the Peacekeepers of Erenoth. What is it? Griffin?
Yep. Griffin riding peacekeepers for use with your fantasy RPGs. Actually, the colonic title is...
That is not the word.
Yeah, it is. The colonic title is in there.
Peacekeepers of Erenoth. This guy.
Oh, yeah. It's on the back.
It's on the back cover, because he made that. Okay, so today... What?
Well, we got to do the... So stay tuned. Okay, we're back. All right, what are we doing?
Splatbook Roulette of Erenoth. I put my phone in my pocket. Okay.
You have the official timer.
Like an amateur.
If you've never seen a Splatbook Roulette, this is where we are going to randomly flip to a page in this book. I will put my finger down, and we are going to try to give you some awesome inspiration you can use right away.
Inspiration, advice,
lore, thoughts, whatever, in 5 minutes or less. And there is a timer involved. So you can get your copy of Erenoth, The Convocation, on AbsoluteTabletop.com right now. This is Absolute Tabletop, like James said. This is our first print-on-demand supplement. It is available right now as this video goes live. It's gorgeous. It came out really well. And this is specifically, if you want like Griffin riding Jedi Samurai Knights to put into your 5th edition campaign world, this rule set covers that. I want to say from soup to nuts. But it's the entire rule set that you would need, including like additional feats called boons. There's magic items. There's a really awesome section on the Griffin, like how to rear a Griffin, awesome roll tables, like naming your Griffin, Griffin rules, all that stuff. So AbsoluteTabletop.com, get your physical copy of The Convocation, Peacekeepers of Erenoth by Matt Click.
Ready?
I'm ready. That was it. That was the whole 5 minutes.
That was 100 minutes.
Okay.
Go.
This is cool. This is the first Splatbook Roulette with one of our own books. Okay. I turned to page 10. Chaplains. Okay. Now, in the Convocation, because James and I helped edit this book, the Convocation is divided into orders. Chaplains are the healers, the protectors, like wielders of divine magic. So their credo is under light of mercy, and their emblem is the golden sun. Let's use chaplains. Go for it. I'm putting you on the spot.
So basically, like Tim said, chaplains are one of the 3 orders, the 3 main orders of the Convocation. But sort of just to give you some advice here, we're going to go away from this Convocation and just say, okay, well, there are character classes in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the game that I chiefly play. And then there are like different, circles of people. But what would happen if a bunch of people got together and, all the, say, fighters got together? I mean, you have things like, say, a fighters guild people sometimes.
Sure.
But what does that even mean? And to me, it's basically a community of people, kind of like the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group that you should join. A community of people that like the same thing, but they all have their own quirks and differences. And in this case, it's like, okay, so at a meta level, just like Matt took the chaplains and made them one of the orders and have multiple orders, make a sort of fighters guild or maybe take a specific class and sort of split it up into different types. Chaplains don't have to be clerics or paladins. Mm-mm. They can be just about any class. And it's important because, like I said, if you did that with fighters, you could do that, and it would be, I think, very immersive for your players to know that a fighter isn't a fighter isn't a fighter. There's no such thing as a character class in the world.
And the instant you turn a trope on its head like that, immediately, I start asking myself questions. Well, then what would this mean? And what would this mean? And the character creation and the world building starts to take care of itself as I answer those questions. As you were talking, I had this thought. I don't know what, I don't know how yet. Let's talk through this. I want it to be something awful happens and a good number of the chaplains are needed elsewhere. Like when they call in FEMA or like the Red Cross, it's like something cataclysmic happens. Maybe it's a good old-fashioned dragon attack. Maybe an ancient dragon awakens. It looked like it was part of a cliff slumbering and it just awakens. just decimates hundreds of miles. And it's like, stop what you're doing. If you're a chaplain, you need to go and you need to save some lives. I mean, I just think that would be an interesting... Think about it. You're in the middle of a campaign, right? And the players are doing their thing. They're fighting, what they think is the important plot hook, and all of a sudden, and then they hear about, hey, did you guys hear about that dragon attack? And it's like, what? We weren't a part of it. We're the main characters. And it's like,
exactly.
Oh, guess what? There's a world happening around you, sweet summer boy. But then it's like, what if one of your players is a chaplain? It's like, we need you.
Yeah, like you signed up for this. You're in the Army of Reserves here, and we're calling you. We told you when you signed up and gave you that fat signing bonus that this wouldn't happen. But,
that fat
ancient
signing bonus,
ancient dragons and all,
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing I'm thinking is like, and this obviously for use with the chaplains in the Convocation, but it can also be used for any healer class, even
or specifically if we go back to my example, if you're part of a fighters guild, it doesn't necessarily have to be that it's like, even okay, it was, you're going to heal people. It's like, no, we're not a standing army, but something went wrong, and, we need all the fighters. We need all the fighters from the Fighters Guild, or specifically in this case, all of this type.
Right.
Put on the spot, I'm not sure what the different orders would be if I made a cool Fighters Guild.
But to me, what would be really cool, though? Give a unique task based on the character class. It's like, for instance, let's say you have a player who you're trying to do a little bit of focus on in the campaign, and he's a ranger or she's a ranger. You can say, listen, the only way we know to get to these people in need past the damage is through this awful swamp, and we need people who can navigate it.
Exactly.
And you can navigate it. And it's like, it's not just your combat prowess. It's not just that you can cast spells. It's like, no, listen, you're good with terrain.
Good yeah.
You can get us through here so we can save lives. So we need you and your adventuring party. We need you to take your team through and help.
Now,
can you help us?
Here's what I love about that. To take that a step further, that gives the player a choice. They can do it or they can not do it. If they have something that they feel is more pressing, let them say no. If that's up to them.
Conflict.
Because, well, they're going to get, the equivalent of court-martialed when that comes up. So just, putting that conflict in there allows for some really interesting situations when you pull a player two different ways. And that was 5 minutes.
There you go.
So again, this is the Erenoth, the Convocation, the Griffin riding Peacekeepers of Erenoth. You can get this on AbsoluteTabletop.com, print on demand or digital. It's debuting print on demand, and yeah, it's got a lot of really good stuff in there, a lot of inspiration.
Love this timeline. It's really difficult to see, but it's rich with lore of the world of Erenoth from Matt Click's A Fistful of Dice. And these rules can be reskinned to do a lot of different things. In fact, our breakout box in this book is how you can use this book to run the Convocation in our campaign World of Dragon.
Exactly. So whether you're running a game in Erenoth and you want to know how your players can become, the Convocation themselves and stat them out, or you're just looking for inspiration on, well, how do I make this sort of,
militant
group of
paramilitary knight Jedi samurai order.
Whether your players are going to play them or you just want inspiration about how the structure works, or even if you get the book because you think that giving your players griffins would be really cool and you want some rules on how to decide, what the griffin looks like, what the name is, how to rear them, how to teach them tricks.
That part is so cool. Plus 50 bonus cool points. The Convocation's base, the cover I keep showing you, those floating islands, that's awesome. And that's their spot. That's where they chillax. I'm fired for saying chillax in public on a video.
So, like we said, that is Splatbook Roulette with the Erenoth, the Convocation book, and you can go to AbsoluteTabletop.com to get it now. Also, don't forget to join the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. You can find there, and like this video, subscribe,
Absolutely.
Check out some other. Comment also.
Comment on this video. How would you use this book? In fact, that's the comment. I would love to read these. How would you use this book? How would you use this rule set in your campaign world?
Exactly. So like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time.
May your dice roll high.